What we're working with here today is the generator pulley and fan off my 720 John Deere. As you can see, the belt has worn the pulley so much that it's worn the face and the hub apart, and it's broken off the pulley. What I'm going to attempt to do here, which I think should work, is flip this over, line everything square, and then clean this up and braze it in here to make that pulley work again. So we're going to attempt this and see how it goes. Okay, what I've done now is put a wire wheel in my drill. Set that aside for the moment. Lay that down. I'm just going to take the wire wheel, clean it up, Pulley, where I want to braze. There we go, that's one piece. And yes, everybody always remember eye protection, eye protection. So that looks pretty good. Got it pretty shined up. That should braze well. That ain't trouble. Okay, we are going to attempt to braze the hub to the fan for my pulley, my generator pulley. Using about 3/32 brazing rod, acetylene torch. One of the things I do to my brazing rod all the time is always bend the end over on it, make a blunt end on it, so you don't stick yourself in the eye. Some may say there's not necessary to do that. And my retort to that is, that's what the last guy said just before he stuck himself in the eye. So that's just how I do it. Acetylene torch. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Nice neutral flame. Want a little bit of heat because this piece is kind of thick, but I don't want an excessive amount of heat because I'm not using a real heavy rod. Good. Now I want to try to heat this piece nice and even first. Distribute the heat around on it. Now I'll put a tack on about 4 different spots on it, kind of all 90 degrees opposite of each other to try to hold everything in place. And then we'll go ahead and braze it. Want to get cherry red, but you don't want to get it where the metal starts to become molten. It's not what your goal is. There, I've got one side got settling, or got brass sticking to it. And there, I've got a tack. One side there. We'll get a tack on this side over here. Brazing's kind of the next step up, in my opinion, in all my experience. Next step up from soldering. There, I got a tack of brass to the outside, to the pulley. On the outside, now I get it warmed up. It's a little thicker on the inside because of that hub. So it takes a little bit more to get the brass to stick. A little bit more heat. There, I've got a second tack. We'll see how she comes out. She's just starting to get cherry red. Nice tack on the hub. Nice tack on the pulley. And there we go. Get enough in there so I know she's stuck good. Alright, now we're just going to run a bead around the whole inside there. Let me double check one more thing. If you can notice, you'll see I'm not wearing actually brazing or welding goggles. I'm wearing safety glasses. The reason I'm wearing safety glasses is I wear bifocals and I cannot focus when I have without my glasses on. So I wear safety glasses over my bifocals. Yes, sir. Everything looks good and straight, good and square. We're in good shape. We're going to continue to braze this up. By having the 4 tacks on there, that'll keep it from pulling and warping with the heat I have to put it on here in order to braze it. So we'll start with one of the brass where I have it tacked with braze on the first part there, and we'll just run a nice tight little bead the whole way around there then. Just add materials we need to add it just to keep a nice little puddle running. Just a nice little round puddle running in there. And brazing is kind of the same. I look for the same look, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is what you get whenever you do MIG welding. I'm sorry, TIG welding. And it looks like you just laid down a row of nickels in there. And I try to get about the same look with brass. Brass flows pretty nice. Pretty even, so you don't always get that exact nickel look, but you get a nice little rounded look in it, that it's nice and smooth, nice and tight, no holes, and that's good. And tell you what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do 2 sides of this, but 2 sides open. So I'm just going to be between the 2 tacks here, and I did between the 2 tacks here. And that should be enough, because I'm not sure that I need a whole lot of holding power on this. Plus, if I would have to tear it back apart for some reason, I can get it back apart easier with having less brass in there. And whether this is much of a concern or not, I don't know. But I don't want to throw the thing too far out of balance, I guess I would say. I don't think I would have a concern with that. One never knows. The old saying, sometime less is more. A little conservative, never hurts to be that way. Make sure I got all the holes filled in the brass. Nice clean job. There it is. Okay, we're going to let that cool down a little bit. Take her back out, install it on the generator, start the tractor, see how she works. Okay, there's what I did. There's my brazing job. Well, the camera will focus on autofocus here. But you can see I just tacked on between. I had a tack there and a tack there. I just brazed that in. I had a tack there and a tack there to hold everything square. Just brazed that in. Wait for it to cool off now. Cools off. I'll reassemble it on the generator. Put the generator back on the tractor. We'll be ready to go. Okay, we're going to reassemble the fan hub and pulley hub onto the generator. First thing I'm going to do is put some never sees on here in case I have to take this back off again someday. I put never sees on everything, because the old story about it's the next guy's problem. Well, my luck is I'm always the next guy. So I never sees everything. Okay. Now, put the hub and fan assembly itself on. As you can see, I give it a little bit of a John Deere green baptism. Stays one place there, shaft. There it goes. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Put the washer, put the nut, get the impact wrench. Put her back together. Tighten her up good and tight. She's ready to go back on the tractor. Okay, we're putting the generator back on the 720 John Deere. Got the generator hung on the bracket. The bolts are still loose so that I can move it. I'm going to take the hot wire for the on the generator regulator, reconnect it. It's connected. Roll the generator up into place. Put the adjusting bolt back in place. Get it in there finger tight. Roll the generator as far in as I can get it. Make sure I get the belt on. The belt has to go across the main pulley, the drive pulley up here on the fan hub, down on the water pump pulley, and then onto the generator pulley. Pull that generator back. Get it snugged up a little bit here by hand. I like to see about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more of play in that belt. The last thing you want to do is get that belt too tight, because you'll wipe out the bearings in your water pump. You do that, that becomes a very expensive repair. It's not a hard repair to do, it's relatively simple, but it can get a little bit expensive. Yeah, especially whenever you consider you did it to yourself by tightening the belt too tight. So that's experience. Been there, done that experience. Good deal there. Alright, let's tighten the bottom belts. Or the bottom bolts, I'm sorry. Tighten the bottom bolts. Good deal. Shape. Now we'll see how true my brazing job is, how well it runs, and how easy it starts, and whether the generator charges now. Let's jump on and let's crank this tractor up.